And what I do is copy it first, capital Y, and then 100, paste. Just pasting 100 lines below. Please open a text file. So it is just a simple text file, and it has different paths, different random characters, numbers, and so on. So I think it's a good example for us to practice our Vim codes. So we started by highlighting, changing the arrows button into J, K, and HL. So let's start from there. So this is my cursor right now. So I can move around with J going down a line, and L one right, and H to one left. And last week we learned that we could mix numbers in front of these motion keys. Let me do 20J, then it takes you 20 lines down. I'm going to do 20K, it takes you 20 lines up. So open a text file and then follow this, please. And if you have this text file exactly that I'm using, please open that. So I can also mix numbers with H. Let me do 7H. Then it goes 7 to the left. If I do 10L, it goes 10 to the right. Okay? And we did this sign, caret. This takes you to the first character of the line. And $sign will take you to the end of line. Okay? With knowing that, I'm gonna go F here, which is 6 lines down and very close to the end. So I'm gonna do 6J and then just 1H. Let me get to this X, which is 4 lines down and then very close to the first character. So 4J and caret and 3L. So you can get to the place with less number of strokes. And then we also did double G, which will take your cursor to the top of the text line. We also did capital G, which will take you to the last line of the text. Let's also try capital H, which was taking you to the first line that you see on your screen, but it doesn't scroll your screen. And capital L will take you to the last line that you see, but it doesn't scroll. Okay? Control D and Control U were half page down, half page up. So Control U takes you half page up. Control D takes you half page down. Okay? And F was something very useful. If I do F something, it's going to take to the first occurrence of some character that I type after F. So this time my cursor is here. Let me say F1. Then from here, it's going to take me to the first one that I see here. So F1. All right. Now I'm going to do F0. Take me to the first 0. Again, I'm going to do F5. And again. Okay. If I do capital F5, it's doing something very similar, but it's searching for the character to the previous, to the backwards. Okay. That was what we did. And then we also did W and D. W for word motions. Let me go 17 up. And W for moving a word. B for moving backward. Okay? So let me find a good word. I see Kevin Cho. Let me go there, which is 7 lines up. And then I'm going to do FK. I'm here. We also did sharp sign, which will find the word that I was on, which was Kevin Cho. It's going to look for the Kevin Cho in the previous lines, in the reversing order. If I do star sign on Kevin Cho, it's going to find next Kevin Cho that it sees in the document. Okay, that was a revision from last week. Let me scroll this down. Okay. Today we will do colon set number. So if you do colon set number, you realize there's a line numbers that I see here, but you may not have this. So if you do set number, you will have this. And then also, if you look at the line, if you look at the number here, it says 64. But if you look at the number above and below is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting higher, further away from the line that I'm in. So this is giving the relative number, which is quite useful when we want to use the 8 lines down, 8 lines up, and so on. So use colon set relative number. Colon set relative number. Then you will have the 64 like I have, okay? Then you'll be able to scroll. If you want to get annotation from this line here, you directly know the annotation here is just 4 lines above, okay? That's when you do 4K, all right? Okay, let's try 20 capital G. 20 capital G. It takes you to the line 20. And let's do 100 capital G. 100 capital G. Then it takes you to line number 100. So when you are working on a script together with other people, they may say, oh, there's an error in line 161. Then what you do, 161, capital G. Then it's gonna go to the line that you tell it to go. It's quite useful, okay? All right, let's move your cursor to a little up like this. Let's move your cursor down like this. But now I'm focusing on this line, and I wanna see the next line. I wanna see the next line. But I want to see lines below and just make this cursor at the middle of my screen. That's when you do double Z. Double Z. Then it's gonna set your pages right, putting your cursor and the line that you're on to the center of the document that you see. Okay, so we've done ZZ, and now it's about time that we edit the document. Let's try X. And again, it's deleting a character. X is deleting a character. So realize that we haven't gone into insert mode yet. So insert mode is something to learn at later stage. We need to edit first. We need to know how to move around faster. We need to how to delete before writing anything. Okay, this is the steps that we are taking. Just remember. Let's do the X again. We learned to mix numbers in front of the motion keys. We can also do the same thing. Let's do 10x. And it's removing 10 characters. Let's do 100x. Yep. Let's come down. Let's do 100x. So it's removing 100 characters from the line that you're in. Okay? All right, let's try capital D. Let me do it again. Capital D. It deletes every character from the point that your cursor is in. Capital D. It deletes every character from the line that you're in. Okay? Let's do double D. And again, double D. It deletes whole line. Shall we mix numbers with double D? Let's do 100. It just deleted 100 lines. It was easier to see if you delete it from the top. Let's do double G to go to the top. And then I'm going to do 20 double D. It just deleted 20 lines. Okay? So after you type 20D, what happens if you type dot? It's deleting 20 lines again. So it is dot is repeating something that you just did. So it's easier to see if you do just DD. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna do DD. You just remove the line. Let me do dot afterwards. Remove another line. Remove another line. Let me do X. And then dot again. You repeated X this time. So dot is repeating whatever you've typed before and then repeating the stuff again. It can be quite useful. And then we do, you can also mix delete keys with your motions. What was the J key for? It's going down, right? If I do DJ, it's going to delete 2 lines going down a line. Let's see, DJ. So it's going to delete the line and the line below. You can do the same thing with the DK, okay? Let's type U to revert back all the changes. If you type U, it undoes the changes that you made to the document. I'm just typing U to undo all the changes. Yep. And I'm going to do GG again to go to the top. Yes, I'm here. You have to do capital Y and P. Capital Y and P. Capital Y and P. It's copying the whole line and then pasting it below. Let's copy this line. Capital Y and then P. This time, I'm going to copy this line, but I want to paste it above. Capital Y and then capital P. Do you see the difference? Last time, when I pasted it, my cursor went down when I just pressed P. This time, when I pressed capital P, my cursor went up, meaning that it pasted the line above. We can also mix P with numbers. Let me revert back all the changes. Say I copied this line number 2, and then I want to paste it 100 times. And what I do is copy it first, put capital Y, and then 100, paste. Just pasting 100 lines below. Okay? All right. So now character copy. Let's do V. Let's click on V. When you click on V, you will see dash dash visual dash dash below your screen. And now you are in a visual mode. You can think of it as a select mode, like when you drag with your mouse cursor. So let's move around your keyboard. Let's do J, L. Do you see the color change? Do you see the slight color change on your VIM? So that means the lines are under the slight color change are selected in your visual code. Let's do Y. Then you are back in the normal mode, meaning that you are out of the visual mode again. But the selection that you did before pressing Y has been copied into your clipboard. Let's do P to paste. You just pasted them. Okay, let's do it again. I'm going to select the numbers here by going to visual mode by V and then moving, kill a space, and I want to copy this and I want to paste it somewhere here in an empty line, P. Okay, I want to get there and copy A8, F7, whatever. So I do 5J. I'm going to go back to end of the line and I'm going to do B to come back over. And then I'm going to go into visual mode to select from there to the end of the line. And I want to copy this and I want to come back 5 lines above, 5K, and I want to paste it here, P. Okay? I want to paste it 100 times. All right. And say you want to add something in front of each lines. How would you do that in Vim or Word? So you would probably go to I and then ABC, press ESC, come to the same spot on the second line, and you press dot to repeat something that you've already did. Again, J, come back again, and then do repeat by dot. But there's something called block visual selection. You do Control V this time. Control V. You see visual now with a block after visual. Let's do 12J to come down 12 lines. See, your selection is not only going horizontally, but it's going vertical now. And then what you do capital A, then type whatever that you want to type. And then press ESC. Let me do this again. I'm going to do Control V to go into visual block mode. 12 down. And then say I want to copy 3 characters. I selected them vertically, and then I'm going to press Y to select them. Then I'm going to paste them in front of it. Capital P. You just paste it in front of them. Okay? This is quite useful when you're working with a path. For example, just say you have lines like this, and this is a path. Then sometimes you want to change the whole path. What you do is you just come up and type data NNT, whatever. You can change them into paths very quick, or you can, change the path very quick to something else. ABC, something like this. Okay, this is when we use this. So just know that there are functions like this. Okay, I think this is enough for Vim revision and new Vim keys today. But similar to the last week, please pick at least 1 or 2 keystrokes that we learned today and stick it on your monitor. And then try using them next week while you are using Vim, and try to at least try using them. And if you want to learn more, that's going to be great. Yeah, let's try that.